What's up, friends? In this video, another installment of the Dirty Dozen. I have a bunch of loose cars to cycle through, and 12 at a time, all dusted and ready to go, hence the name Dirty Dozen. We're gonna do the 51 to 62 gram weight category this time. Let's crack them open and see what we're dealing with. Last iteration of the Dirty Dozen put 5 cars into the display, none into the stack. Man, I can't remember what this one is, some kind of a Chrysler. You're used to seeing this one in the Butterfinger livery. This one all orange, metal on metal. I'll think of the name later. 52.4 grams. Leave a comment down below. Give me the name of that car. This one of the Hot Wheels Crashers. Now, not all of these cars are in mint condition. You saw that one had a couple flea bites on it. This one probably does too. Not sure what this guy is called, but when it hits this front end, it's supposed to, tweak all up. The nice thing about the Crashers is they're metal on metal cars. They typically have some pretty decent wheels. This one weighing in at 56.7 grams. Don't know the name of him either. Ah, yes, the Solaire. This one is a silver painted version from Malaysia. You guys are all very familiar with that casting. 57.3 grams. This is just another one that I had picked up in my collecting. Another Shadow Jet. This one with red 5-spoke wheels. Don't remember where he came from. And he's too light. Let me get something else to swap him out with. Okay, let's throw this Flash Cider into the mix. This one was in the last case that I did, and he was a little bit too heavy. So we'll throw him in this mix. 51.1 grams, just making it into this weight class by the hair on his chinny chin chin. Plain Jane looking Thunderbird Stalker. Metal on metal. This one looks a lot like the Mickey D's version. I'll have to see if the pumpkin hits the track. If it does, might shave it down just a little bit. 5-spoke wheels all the way around. He was in a special set. 61.1 grams. My first fire eater hitting the track. I think this guy was in the same set as the Thunderbird. Maybe it was one of these throwback sets, I'm not sure. Metal body, plastic base, 53.1 grams. Old number 5.5, this one with the red 5-spoke wheels. I hope that the wheels have clearance on the front fender. I found that a lot of times they like to rub up there. We'll just have to see how he does. The lights are playing with me. 57.1 grams on this guy. Lotus Esprit, this one from the Hot Ones series. Gold Hot Ones wheels, or at least they're the throwbacks. Metal on metal. Got some pretty good weight, 55.1 grams. Matchbox Mercedes-Benz, what is this? 430, yeah, the 430 wagon. This guy has got some flea bites going across it. I actually found this one at a McKay's used bookstore. They had a dump bin. And I find that casting for $1. I pick it up for $1. 55.5 grams. Classic Packard, this one, the Treasure Hunt version with the lace wheels. I think I raced the black version on one of the older videos I had. 55.8 grams on that guy. 68 Nova, the Easter edition. We've seen this one going around quite a bit lately. Opening hood, 5-spoke wheels, metal on metal. 59.8 grams. And the last one out of the 12 is going to be the Screamin' Holler. This one all purple with the 5-spoke wheels. Another car I've had issues with in the past as far as wheels hitting that front fender. These axles are typically pretty loose in this casting. And if it's loose enough, it'll let them rub. This one might, I don't know. I'd like to find a fast one of these someday. 53.3 grams. All right, there's the next 12. We're gonna give each of these cars a little bit of exercise to break in the graphite. stick them into the bracket, see how they do. Right, here's our lineup. We're gonna run them out exactly how I showed them to you. They've all had some exercise, 2 at a time, heads up down this quarter-mile drag strip. Fastest pass after lane swap is gonna move it on. And again, the Dirty Dozen races are just, I've got a lot of loose cars. They've been dusted up, they're ready to go. I need to get them ranked, find out if they've got speed. If they do, we've got speed on the table. We're gonna see if they deserve to be either in there or possibly in the top 13. First one up, the Dodge Concept in lane 1 and the Crashers pick up in lane number 2. And here we go. 2279 to a 2295. And he did his thing. Lane swappage, 2279, the time to beat. 2281 to a 2304. Dodge Concept vehicle is going to be moving on to the next round. Next up, we've got the Soul Air in lane number 1 and the 56 Flash Sider in lane number 2. And one thing that I've found on this seamless track, the Soul Airs excel, as you're probably getting ready to see. And go. Yeah. 2247 to a 2289. That was gappage, one and done victory for the Soul Air. Next up, we got the Hot Wheels Fire Eater in lane 1 versus the Thunderbird Stalker in lane 2. Ready, steady. 2278 to a 2317. That was a little bit of gappage by the Thunderbird. We're gonna call that one a one and done too. Next up, old number 5 in lane 1 and the Lotus Esprit in lane 2. And go. Pretty tight race. 2289 to a 2291. Old number 5 takes that one. Laner swap, 2289, the time to beat. I think he's gonna do it. 2275 to 2288. So the Lotus decides to pull his head out for the second pass. He's moving on. Up in the blocks, the Matchbox Mercedes 430 in lane 1 and the Hot Wheels Treasure Hunt Classic Packard in lane number 2. Ready, steady. It was the Matchbox 2265 to 2286. Pretty good time. Laser swap 2265, the time to beat. Matchbox does it again, even faster. 2260 to a 2283. 2 wins for the Matchbox. It's going to advance him to the next round. Last pair in this mix, we got the 68 Nova Easter exclusive in lane 1 and the Screamin' Holler in lane 2. And go. Oh, the Nova. Just destroyed the Screamin' Holler. 2277 to a 2320. I saw gappage. That's a one and done victory for the Nova. Round 1 is done. Winners on the right, losers on the left. Round 2 starts us off with the Dodge Concept in lane 1. And based on the numbers we've seen, the Soul Air is looking pretty good. Is he going to take the win? Well, let's make it official. Ready, steady. 2252 to a 2273. Not quite gappage. Let's go ahead and re-rack them. 48 to a 78. Soul Air moves on to the next round. Next up, Thunderbird Stalker in lane 1 and the Lotus Elise in lane 2. Here we go. Pretty good race. 68 to a 71. The Lotus takes the first one. Lane swappage, 2268, the time to beat. 69 to a 73. The Lotus with the fastest pass in the first race. It's going to send him on. Staged and ready, it's the Matchbox Mercedes in lane 1, and 68 Nova in lane 2. Ready, steady. Oh, Matchbox. 61 to a 74. Laser swap 2261, the time to beat. And if you find some loose cars out in the wild with some chips in the paint, give them a little bit of love. because you never know. 2261 to a 73. Mercedes takes them both, eliminating poor Nova. Round number 3, we've got the Soul Air in lane 1 and the Lotus Esprit in lane number 2. Ready, set, go. Oh man, serious garbage. 51 to an 89, one and done victory for the Soul Air. He'll be going up against the Mercedes for the final. And for the final race, Soul Air versus Mercedes. And wow, I don't know what happened there. 2259 to a 63. Matchbox kept it close. Looks like the Soul Air was sleeping on the line a little bit. Laser swap, 2259, the time to beat. That looks a little better. 2247 to a 2271. Soul Air ripping off some fast ones, takes the overall win of this dozen. Let's see how he does against the ranks. Rather than starting at the bottom and working our way up, let's see if the Soul Air's got anything for the number 1 in this weight category, Dodge Charger. Our current number 1, the Mattel Fast and Furious Dodge Charger against today's winner. Here we go. $46 to a 49. He couldn't quite get him. Laser swap, 2246, the time to beat. Oh, he gets him big time. 41 to a 46. Well, since we just beat him, guess we know where we're going next, right? My Old Faithful in lane number 1, defending his spot into the stack. Ready, steady. 46 to a 51, not looking good. Laser swap, 2246, the time to beat. Typically, the black Soul Air takes a few runs. 46. Oh man, 46 to a 48. Matching fast laps. The silver car has a faster, slower lap. Let's give the black car one more lap, see if he can improve. All right, one more lap for the black car. Get him warmed up a little bit. 2246 is the time to beat. He's not gonna do it. 46 to a 48, but they are pretty closely matched. Shit, let's do it one more time. Swapping them up. 46, the time to beat. Oh, geez. 40 to a 47. Well, that answers that question. All right, next in the ranks, Laser Wheel Dodge Daytona from Matchbox. He actually made it into the ranks recently as well, going up against the Soul Air. Let's see what happens. 44 to a 49. Swapping them up, 22-44, the time to beat. He's gonna get him. 50 to a 53. Excellent. Next up, sitting 11th overall in my overall ranking of speed, it's the Fast and Furious Impala by Mattel versus the Soul Air. That Impala can be kind of fickle sometimes. I hope he shows what he's made of. Or not. Yeah, 40 to a 45. Laser swap, Soul Air needs to beat a 2240. He is not gonna do it. 43 to a 48. Okay, so the Impala stays where he's at, and a new addition to the stack. How about that? Silver Soul Air from that box of 12, making it into the top ranks. Bywayman, currently our gatekeeper, but with the Soul Air bumping out of the stack, that's gonna put him up here and it's gonna crap him out the other end. So he's not gonna be in there anymore. Too bad. But next one up is the number 43 Pro Racing Grand Prix against the Dodge concept car. Let's see what happens. It's actually pretty close. 72 to a 77. Lane swapping, 72, the time to beat. Not happening. 71 to an 85. Same car versus the Lotus Elise. Lotus doesn't seem to be the most consistent runner in the whole wide world. Yeah, no way. 70 to an 82. Laser swap 2270, the time to beat. A little bit closer, but he's still not going to make it. 71 to a 79. So number 43 eliminates another one. Let's see if the Thunderbird has anything. Number 43 in lane 1 and the Thunderbird in lane 2. Ooh. Got to buy 1,000s. Swapping lanes, 2277, the time to beat. He's going to get him. 69 to a 73. Nice. Well, let's move up just a few because he's pretty close. Back to the Future Time Machine. Time Machine lane 1, Thunderbird lane 2. Time Machine by 2,000s. Laser swap 2269, the time to beat. Thunderbird ain't gonna do it. 64 to a 76. Time Machine back where he belongs. Let's whip out the Skyline. Hot Wheels Red Line Edition Skyline in lane number 1 and Thunderbird in lane 2. And go. Skyline. Just ripped the Thunderbird a new butthole. 62 to 74. All right, they're swapped. 2262, the time to beat. Skyline. 66 to a 70. So the Skyline is going to keep his spot. And that first run was pretty impressive by him. Okay, so Skyline back in his place. Thunderbird, the new gatekeeper, into that rank. Nova's up next. Can the Nova get past the Thunderbird? We will answer that question right now. That'd be a no. 64 to an 80. Laser swap 2264, the time to beat. And the Nova is not going to get it done. 68 to a 75, so the Thunderbird stays where he's at. Nova is gone. And for the last one we're going to run today, we've got the Thunderbird Soccer defending his spot against the Matchbox Mercedes-Benz 430. I don't recall if these guys raced against each other on the bracket. 70 to a 72. Laser swap 2270, the time to beat. Oh, Matchbox. 67 to a 72. So with that, Thunderbird is retired. And I don't know, that Skyline's pretty quick. Let's see if the Matchbox has anything for him. Skyline, lane 1, Mercedes, lane 2. Here we go. Tight race. 69 to a 71. Laser swap, 2269, the time to beat. He's gonna make it. Wow, 56 to a 67. So the Mercedes dispatches the Skyline. Let's just move up a couple. Honda S2000, Fast and Furious. Honda lane 1, Mercedes lane 2. Is the Mercedes getting broken in? 69 to a 72, he doesn't win that one. Laser swap 2269, the time to beat. He gets him. 63 to a 67, nice. Wow, the little Mercedes that could. Let's jump up a few more, shall we? Show-Haas Mustang. Show-Haas in lane 1, Mercedes lane 2. And go. Yeah, 57 to a 67. Mustang draws a line in the sand. Laser swap 2257, the time to beat. And the Matchbox is not going to do it. 59 to a 66. All right, Mustang back in his spot. Let's give the CQ a visit. CQ Mercedes 300 TE versus the Matchbox. CQ Mercedes 300 TE versus the Matchbox Mercedes, the 400E. CQ Mercedes 300 TE versus the Matchbox Mercedes 3. CQ Mercedes 300 TE versus the Matchbox Mercedes 430E.
Is barely my assholes.
And go. CQ 2264 to 2271. Langer swap 2264, the time to beat. 64 to a 79. I don't remember the slow time for the 430. Let me look. Okay, so 2271 was the slow time set by this guy. Their fast laps were tied. I'm gonna go ahead and call him the winner. The only one left, Johnny Lightning, 69 Camaro. Camaro lane 1, Mercedes lane 2. Here we go. $65 to a 65, good race. A 10,000th nod going to the Johnny Lightning. Langer swap 2265, the time to beat. Not gonna do it. 60 to a 63. So Johnny Lightning keeps his spot. This guy's gonna go in there. Give me a second and I'll get this resorted. All right, it is resorted. And the Black Solaire, with a temporary pit stop into the stack, he's back into the number 1 spot in the 51 to 62 gram ranks. And let's see, the only other car getting into the ranks is that Matchbox 430E. Still not too bad. Out of 12 cars, getting 2 into the ranks. These 2 cycled out. They will probably get a rework at some point in the future, see if we can't do something with them, maybe get them back into the ranks. Well, that was pretty awesome. The stat got faster. I actually had that car right there for sale on eBay because on the segmented track that I was using before, it just wouldn't get it done. It likes the seamless. Glad it didn't sell. Glad you guys didn't buy it. Anyway, he makes it into the top 13, towards the bottom, but still, that's pretty darn fast. The ranks get faster, and we continue on with the Dirty Dozen type of racing. We've got a bunch of these things to go through. I appreciate you sticking around with me for a little while. Until next time, y'all stay healthy, have fun racing.